Good morning. This is Pastor Jonathan with today's Daily Devo. It is Wednesday, September the 2nd. And good morning. How are you today? I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for gathering with us online. We're on Facebook, our Facebook page, Robertsdale UMC. This video will also be embedded to our website, robertsdaleumc.com, and our YouTube channel, and probably within the next hour. But I'm gathered with you live here from my house to yours, so it's a joy to be with you. Welcome and thank you for joining us. I got to start a new book of the Bible today. One of the questions that people have from time to time is what kind of Bible you would recommend, and my answer to that is never short and sweet. But there are some of you who have used the same Bible that I used this morning. This is the 1-year Bible. And what I love about this Bible, it comes in a lot of different translations. There are chronological Bibles that reorder the books a little bit to be in the order of how they would have happened historically. This is just the regular New Living Translation Bible, but it's divided up into readings that get you through the whole Bible in a year. So you'll see it's September 2nd, and there's an Old Testament reading, which beginning today is Ecclesiastes, chapters 1 through 3. And then if I turn the page, there's a portion of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, and then Psalm 46, and one verse of Proverbs. So every day you get some of the Old Testament, some of the New Testament, some of Psalms, and some of Proverbs. Old Testament, New Testament, Psalm, and Proverb, a reading every day. And when you complete it, you will have read the entire Bible in a year. I love this layout. It's my favorite one that I've ever found that gets me through the Bible in a year because it's not like you spend 2/3 of the year in the Old Testament and then by the New Testament you've gone 2/3 of the year without reading any of the New Testament. You're constantly reading all of the Bible, so to speak, at the same time, and I really enjoy that. So I get a chunk of the Old Testament, a chunk of the New. Psalms and Proverbs every day. So today I started the book of Ecclesiastes, and I got to be honest, this doesn't always happen, but it happens to me from time to time. I couldn't put it down. So I read the first 3 chapters, and it was so intriguing that I have a Bible app on my phone. There's also websites that offer you to listen to the Bible free of charge. And so I listened. So after I read the first 3 chapters, then I listened to them so I could read again, but with my ears. And I just kept letting it play until I had listened to the entire book of Ecclesiastes. So I've titled this Daily Devo, Over the Sun, because one of the refrains in the entire book of Ecclesiastes is, for example, chapter 2, verse 11 says, "Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind, nothing was gained under the sun." I'm going to read a few more verses from chapter 3, verse 12. "I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and do good work while they live. Do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God." And then later in the chapter 3, verse 20, "All go to the same place, all come from dust, and to dust all return." That's something that we say when we observe Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent, as we prepare our hearts and souls for Easter, a reminder of our mortality and the futility of this mortal life, if that's all that we see. And then verse 22 in chapter 3, "So I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen, what will happen after them?" And now I'm going to go to the very end of the book, chapter 12, because he actually has some concluding verses that really wrap up the whole book. Verses 13 and 14, the last 2 verses in the book of Ecclesiastes. "Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil." When I was in college, and actually it might have been when I was in seminary, there was a Christian duo, a musical group called Shane Bernard and Shane Everett. I've been listening to their music for years. And they came out with this very intriguing song called "Over the Sun," after which this Daily Devo is titled. And the song, I had never heard it put in these words before, but the song imagines that they're sitting at a fireplace with King Solomon. and they're talking about the content of Ecclesiastes, which is attributed to King Solomon, that he is at least one of the authors of Ecclesiastes. And they say, what have you found? In all your great wisdom, what have you found under the sun? And in the chorus, Solomon answers them, get over the sun. Get over the sun. And it just, I kicked the tripod. It just got me mindful this morning with a thought that I want to share with you, that our perspective is everything. If our perspective is only tied to this life and the things of earth under the sun, as King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes, we will find that it is all futile, that it is all meaningless. So what's the key then? Well, the key is to find satisfaction in this life and to do good in our work and in our relating to people. But the only thing that lasts is what God does. And so today we have an opportunity to invite God, recommit ourselves every day to invite God into lordship of our lives, lordship of our reality as we know it, lordship of our world, and to live as if He is King. Because the only thing that's going to last, the only thing that's going to be eternal is the work of God. In the meantime, the only thing that we can do is find happiness and satisfaction in our lot in life, and to exchange our earthly perspective for a heavenly perspective. So the only way that we will reach a higher level of satisfaction and happiness is if we find joy in the Lord and the things of God. So even when we're doing the menial and sometimes what seems like mundane work and activities of earth and of this life, if we exchange our earthly perspective for a heavenly perspective, we will find that not everything is futile. There are things that last, what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven. And He went to great length to describe that kingdom and to invite us in very practical and tangible ways to live as part of that kingdom. So that's the word I wanted to share with you today, to look for ways you can get over the sun and look for the ways that our perspective is under the sun, in ways that we need God to come in and elevate and help us get beyond in our seeing and in our thinking and in our feeling, just simply ending with the economy of earth, with the ways of the world, and think about, meditate on, and strive after God who is in heaven, because Jesus came to bring heaven to earth, and we get to be a part of that. That's so amazing. That's so exciting. So just invite God into your reality wherever you are today, and think about throughout your day today, am I looking with the eyes of earth alone, or am I also looking with the eyes of heaven? Do I have a heavenly perspective, an eternal perspective, in such ways that satisfaction and goodness can be seen in my life that transcends the realities of this world? If you do that, and if I do that, we can be satisfied and happy and content even in this life, so much so that it will even be a witness to and a blessing to those around us. God bless you today. This is Pastor Jonathan. Grace and peace.